Yeah. Holla, we them boys. Holla, 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 we making noise. Holla, holla, we them boys.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing.
Welcome to the Cowboys blog. I'm Rahul, and this is Ritika. We're a brother-sister duo that are diehard Cowboys fans, and we're going to be talking about everything Cowboys today. And why don't we start off? What's first on our topics today?
Well, I think we would be remiss if our first topic wasn't Dak's franchise tag. So let's talk about how Dak isn't getting paid.
Yeah, surprise, surprise. It's the conversation we've been having for I feel like a year now. Like, I think even before last season, like, we were talking about, oh, is Dak going to get paid? Is Dak going to get paid? Dak still hasn't got paid. For one, I have to say that I do feel like Dak is being a little greedy and not willing to work a little bit. I know everybody wants him to get paid, and I want him to get paid too, sure, but you got to meet in between somewhere. You have to see, like, what you're working with, because if you handicap the team with just his salary, there goes the cap room right there. Like, I mean, how do you pay for everybody else to support him? And we've seen last year what happened. Not last year, 2 years ago it was, when Dak didn't have the supporting cast that he usually has. He didn't have Zeke in the back either. Like, you know how much he struggled without wide receivers when they were going to do the whole wide receiver by committee thing. Like, it did not work out. But ever since they brought in Amari in, and now that Amari has success, they have to pay him as well. They have to pay that O-line to give him all that time to take a look around and find his open receivers. If you're not doing all that stuff, dude, like, I mean, if you're going to take up a big chunk of the cap room, we're screwed. And Jerry is being smart. Like, he's not, like, letting go of everything and making him the number one quarterback in the league, because he hasn't showed that. Like, he hasn't shown that he is great on his own. And I love Dak. I think he has a lot of potential. But, like, he needs a supporting cast.
Well, I
until
think
he doesn't show me that.
That's what it's come down to, is has he earned it? I mean, Jerry Jones had offered him what, $33 million a year? That's a lot. I mean, excuse me, but we're in the middle of a crisis right now. We have how many unemployed people? 33 million sounds sure like a lot of money.
I mean, to be fair, that was before all this, but still.
Yeah, still. But I mean, what? Let's talk about the Patriots game last year, right? How many scoring drives did he have? 0, right? He hasn't earned it. I mean,
yeah, exactly. Good point. Last year, I mean, something that all Cowboys haters love posting and talking about was how the Cowboys haven't beat anybody who's actually good. Like, oh, talk to me when you've actually beaten someone good with a winning record, blah, 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 blah. We heard that all throughout last year, and it sucks, but it was true. It's like, we didn't beat the good teams when it counted. We didn't win when it counted. We let the Eagles, with like a depleted squad, win the division when we had fairly healthy squad. Like,
I mean, we were well on our way to the Super Bowl with the first 3 weeks. I mean, we were undefeated.
Seriously, yeah. I think it was like the first 5 weeks.
Yep. Jets.
No, the Jets was like game that I'm still I lose sleep over that game. Like, how did we lose to the Jets? How? They were terrible. How did we lose to them? God, that's one game I would love to just delete out of my memory.
I mean, thankfully Maher's gone, so.
Yeah, well, he wasn't the only reason we lost that game. It was a team effort to lose that one.
I mean,
but I do feel good about Mike McCarthy coming in. A whole new coaching scheme, a whole new coaching squad, a whole new perspective on how we're going to be running the offense and the defense.
Yep. He's got quite the resume. We have a Super Bowl, 9 playoffs, 6 division titles, all in 13 seasons as the Packers head coach.
He's a good coach. I like him. I think he's going to be good for us. I think the players will end up liking him too. One thing that I like Jason Garrett. Like Jason Garrett is
Yeah.
a good dude, but I mean, I feel like we gave him too much responsibility too soon early, and that was kind of his demise. And then he just carried on with that, and he never really recovered. Right? He's a smart football guy, but just not head coach material, I don't think. And I think the Giants did a good thing by putting him as the offensive coordinator. I think that's a right fit for him. Because just game management was his number one thing, man. I feel like he was a terrible
play calling.
Oh my God, worst. Like and like remember we got like so many people like talking about how they could predict what the Cowboys play call is going to be before. Like who was it?
Tony Romo.
Phil? No, it was I mean Tony Romo. Everybody's plays. That guy is Houdini up there. But Phillip Rivers was talking smack about like, oh, I could tell what they're going to call before they called it. I'm pretty sure that is, but you guys can correct
he has free time on his hand with all of his children.
Right? And he's over at where now? Like the Colts now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, he's over at the Colts now. That's good. This year has been like really crazy with all the moves that we've had. Like so many changes. Like next year's gonna be very interesting if we have a season. And hopefully we have a regular season with like people in these stands and everything. It's hard to predict right now, but hopefully things get better by then. We can go back to regular football.
That would be nice.
Thank God football's in off season right now. I would have been a mess if we missed out on football as well as all the other terrible things that are happening right now.
My goodness. Well, I think the most important thing for McCarthy to do, and is probably going to be his biggest challenge, and that's going to be changing the atmosphere in Dallas. We have a very, sad to say this, but losing atmosphere after Garrett left. We just settle with being 8-8, and I don't think that's okay. I mean, if that keeps going on, we're going to hear from the haters 50 years since you guys won a Super Bowl. So.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, so many people were like, I felt like whenever I watched Jason Garrett talk after a loss, I could never feel that he is pissed off about it. I mean, sure, I know he was hurt. He hated losing, but that resonates to your locker room when you're not like showing that you're angry about it, that you're pissed off about it. He's just like, well, we just got to do better. We just got to do good. We didn't perform as well. We're just gonna do better. Like your team is not gonna like respond to that. They need like a little fire. Like that was awful. That was terrible. Like one of the people that will tell you, like Bill Belichick, when he loses, the guy is complete. I mean, he's always quiet, but the guy is like, very short, and you can tell that there's a nuclear explosion that's gone on inside, right? And people are afraid of that. Like his locker room is afraid of pissing off Bill Belichick, And that and I will tell you this, Jimmy Johnson was that type of coach for us. Jimmy Johnson was that kind of guy where there was no nonsense with him. You mess with Jimmy, you're going to pay for it. He will make you run and run and run like the entire practice until you realize, okay, you know what? Like maybe I should, take it easy, coach.
Coach, what'd you do with your summer vacation?
What summer vacation? I don't take vacations.
Let's go, let's go! Beautiful day in Austin.
Training camp under Jimmy Johnson was always a grind, especially the summer after the Cowboys won the Super Bowl.
In order to win back-to-back, you've got to work them. Because if you don't, they'll become complacent.
Into it now, into it. Everybody's into it. Let the mind control the body, not the body control the mind.
And that's one thing that Garrett was never. He was the players' coach. Remember, everybody was like, "Oh yeah, he's a players' guy, man. Like we love Jason. We love Jason. Yeah, great. Be best friends with them. But if you're gonna be good friends with them, you cannot establish the type of fear that a coach needs to. You have to be.
That's the thing. No one took him seriously. Inside the locker room or out. I mean, he's known as Coach Clap.
Coach Clap, exactly. It's okay. Second fumble in a row. It's fine. It's fine. It's good. We're good. We're recovering.
He'll clap for everything all the time. Missed field goal, clap. Pick six, clap. Missed extra point, clap. He's got the clap. The guy is a clapper.
Oh my God. Thank God. We needed this change.
Yep.
In coaching staff.
Feeling optimistic.
Yeah. That should be good. I'm excited about McCarthy coming in.
Yep.
He's already done such great things, man. Like such great things. And that brings me to the next topic that I wanted to talk about was the offseason free agency.
A lot of changes, big moves.
What do you think? What do you think? How do you feel about what he's done so far?
I think so too. I think he's got a solid squad that he's brought along, which is what we need. You know, you can't just keep that stale energy. You have to change it up, and that's what you need. If you have to make those big moves, that's what it takes for a Super Bowl, and that's what he's doing. So I think he's well on his way. We just got to see how everything comes to play. You know, we made a lot of big moves in the free agency. We picked up a lot of people, but at the same time, we lost a lot of big people too. So.
Yeah. I mean, we did lose a good bit, which I think we can recover from. But let me throw this out there. How pissed off do you think that Jason Garrett is going to be when he's looking at all the first round picks that we picked up in the free agency and after he left on the defense? The defense is stacked right now. We're doing so good. Like we just picked up Gerald McCoy. We picked up Dontari Poe, both defensive tackles from Carolina Panthers, and Aldon Smith, defensive end and linebacker from the Raiders. All of them were first-round picks. And also, Clinton Dix, first-round pick as well.
Probably the best one right there.
And Clinton Dix he fills that big void we've had on safety for the longest time. And the one big gap that we have right now on the defense right now is cornerbacks, which we lost big man Byron Jones, man. And we haven't filled that with anything. We had Maurice Kennedy, I don't know how you pronounce his name, but came from the Jets. The guy
Promising.
has been in the league for I think 4 years, and he's had one interception to his name. This is a continued problem for us. We are not a turnover defense.
Yep.
We don't cause any turnovers, man. Sure, even when our defense was the best, not the best, but
Well, I think our problem is that our defense hasn't always been 100% healthy. So that's just been the story of the Cowboys.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, here's the thing. A good defense, it's not reliant on one person, two person. Oh, Sean Lee's down again. There goes our defense. We're done. There was nobody else. Right now, the most amazing thing is that we have help on the inside of the line. Gerald McCoy, Dontari Poe are great additions over there. That helps put pressure onto the quarterback from the middle. Yeah. We've got good defensive ends. We've had good defensive ends before too. We have great linebackers, but we haven't had that the pressure coming in from the middle on the defense. Our linebacker squad is just insane. Our defense is, and can I tell you this? So NFL.com right now has all the old classic games that you can watch on the website, and I was watching the Super Bowl from I feel like it was 92, the Buffalo Bills won, and the Bills had a pretty good offense, and the Cowboys offense was amazing back there with the triplets. You got Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin. We had the trio, man. We're known for that trio, and the game started out with the offense struggling, and the Bills were marching in. They were making turnover on the offense. I think they blocked a punt, scored a touchdown. They were up. Something like that. I think 10-0 or 14-0. I forget what it was. But throughout the whole game that I watched, it was the defense that made the biggest impact in that game. the defense created opportunities for the offense to be able to score and to give the type of reputation that Troy Aikman, Emmett, Michael, Alvin Harper, like all these guys, like, you know, Moose Johnson, like these guys like made a name because they had a solid defense that was doing the job they needed to take the other team off the field and give the offense more of an opportunity. And we've been thinking the complete opposite way lately. You know, it's been like we're a run-first offense. It's like, okay, we need to keep running the ball and keep the defense off the field. You know, like to eat up the clock. And that's been our strategy. And that's not going to get you far in the playoffs. Regular season wins, yes. But in playoffs, when you're going against other solid offenses, you need a defense that can match that caliber. And we haven't had that. And I think that's what McCarthy's strategy right now is. And it's brilliant and it's great. And I'm really happy that he's going that direction first.
I mean, Bill Belichick said it best: defense wins Super Bowls.
Exactly.
Well,
and I mean, look at it in recent times. How many teams that have won the Super Bowl recently have been like, you know, defense first, and offense was just mediocre. You know, it was good, but it's not the best offense. It happens a lot. I mean, yes, in order to win the Super Bowl, yes, you have to have like, you know, a great offense. But like, look, the Denver Broncos defense carried Peyton Manning in when Peyton Manning was having a bad year. That same year too, the Carolina Panthers had a solid defense as well. Ravens, Buccaneers. There's so many teams that have just gotten there. The Giants too. I don't care what stat you can throw at me for Eli Manning. The guy has always been a trash quarterback. He has always been a trash. And his defense has carried him. And sure, he's had some lucky breakthroughs like here and there that have gotten him the plays.
Two-time winning Super Bowl champ.
Meanwhile, Tony Romo, who's probably one of the best quarterbacks that the Dallas Cowboys have had, 0. You know, it's the talent you surround. And that brings me back to the same thing. Dak. Tony worked with so little early and got so banged up that he was injury prone near the end where like everybody like, oh, he's just banged up quarterback, you're just gonna get hurt. Not worth the money. But he did so much. Those 8 and 8 years that we had with Romo would have been easily like a 3-win season.
With the O-line that we had, I mean, that's also says why Dak was so successful his rookie year, because of this number 1 O-line in the league.
And the number 1 running game, man, with Zeke. When is the last time that like when did Romo ever have a number 1 run game? When that one year when we had
DeMarco Murray
healthy for the entire year. That guy could not stay healthy. And every time he was healthy, we were winning games. As soon as he went down, there it goes. Like, you know, we lose that one dimension. Now the defense expects us to go back and pass every time. And we still did well, but not well enough. You need that dual threat. And with him healthy, dude, that was the year, the Dez Contract season.
Still a sore topic.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Dez, do we think he's going to make a comeback this season? We see him practicing with we see him practicing with Dak. Do we think he's going to come back?
Can I also mention, when we saw Dez practice with Dak, and now the video just came out today that you sent me earlier today about Dak having a house party with Zeke. What is he doing? Dak, like, you know, I expected Dak to be a lot more mature than this and, like, be smarter than this about, you know, like, let's make an example. Let's, you know, show that you also are trying to do some social distancing and, you know, there's so many kids that look up to you, man. Like, come on. You cannot be, like, creating that kind of example, like having
It's a
house
shame.
parties and having dozens of people in your house.
I mean, I'm sure Jerry Jones is sitting in his man cave and he's questioning why he offered him $33 million a year in the first place.
This is why he's also looking at Jalen Hurts in the draft, which is great. You know, why do we not have depth at quarterback? Like, why are we the only – like, we have Cooper Rush. And, you know, Cooper Rush has potential, but he's not the solution. You know, he's he's not the solution. And if Dak, God forbid, goes down.
Here's the thing that we have to also take in consideration. You know, we have a new head coach, McCarthy. You know, is Dak going to be able to jive well with McCarthy for the Cowboys to be Super Bowl contenders? Or would McCarthy work better with Jalen Hurts, who's fresh out of college, easily moldable, you know? Which option is better?
Well, one thing that you do have working for you is that Kellen Moore is still there. And Dak has had, you know, history
Kellen
working with Kellen Moore. I like Kellen Moore. You don't like Kellen Moore?
He had a great, first 3 games as our offensive coordinator, then he just went downhill. It's just, he hasn't gained my trust.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's a smart football guy. Like he's another one of Jason Garrett's. You know, like he's a backup quarterback.
That says a lot.
But
really
like
promising.
I said earlier,
he's another Jason Garrett. All we need is more clapping in Dallas.
He's Jason Garrett minus the clapping. No, I feel like he's a smart guy. Like, you know, like he's like, you know, more. One thing that I saw in interviews from the players, that like Kellen Moore was always open to listening to players and their suggestions and like incorporating. He was approachable. He's approachable for Dak and Zeke and Amari whenever they come up. You know, they tell him like, okay, this was working, this wasn't working, and they can easily talk to him since, you know, he used to be, you know, like on the roster with them, and now he's a coach, so, you know, they can talk to him. He's open to those changes and he listens to them, which is a really good thing to have. And look at the change that, you know, we've seen, and a part of that was also John Kitna working with Dak last year. Exactly. He was a good quarterback coach for him too. You know, like he did well for him. Because this showed last year, Dak really did well statistically. You know, and again, those came in the good games, and that's one of the things that we have to work on. Is, you know, you're defined by how you do in those tough moments. You know, in the tough games, and when you're competing with the teams that are going to be in the playoffs, you know, that are playoff bound. How well did you do against them? And Dak hadn't shown that at that point in time. And so hopefully, you know, that's something that we can improve on. And Kellen Moore being there helps some continuity for Dak.
Yep.
And so I think that's going to help him, like, you know, like smoothen the transition for with Mike McCarthy. But getting some help will definitely help, you know. Getting a backup quarterback like Jalen Hurts would definitely be helpful, because we don't have that right now. We don't have any backup, because if Dak does go down, that's the season. Wrap it up. We're going home. What do you do at that point? Cooper Rush? You're going to expect him to take us to the Super Bowl?
Cowboys haters would say we should probably wrap it up before then. But
right. Yeah. Okay.
Well,
so what's the last topic we got?
Let's talk about the top 5 favorite Cowboy hater lines. I'm sure we can come up with more, but 5 should do.
5 should do.
Okay. First up, definitely Cowgirls. Yep.
That is the go-to. Anybody like, oh, when you run out of something to say, like, oh, how about them Cowgirls?
Good one.
Classic go-to.
Classic. Another one I've heard a lot is Dak Trashcott.
What?
Dak Trashcott. Get it? Because he's trash.
Yeah. I haven't heard that one that much. I feel like I've heard it before though.
I've clearly been exposed to too many Cowboys haters. I need to be quarantined.
Trash guy.
Third favorite, probably a little old, but still golden classic. Tony Homo.
Oh, Tony Homo is the go-to for so many people, man. Who's gonna help win for you guys? Tony Homo. Classic. That is the classic one.
Those same people now are rooting him on as he's
and now everybody loves him. It's like, look, now that they get to know him and they watch him regularly, he's a great dude. Like Tony, man, he's still one of my favorite ones.
I feel like they still secretly hate him though, for I don't know what reason. But
no, now they're like, okay, now he's not on the Cowboys, so it's okay, we can. Because look at it like this. I mean, like Cowboys players are like dominating broadcasting. You know, even Jason Witten got into night football. Immediately got into.
I'm not going to lie. That was painful to watch.
It was terrible to watch. He was not that good, and I love Jason. I hate him for moving to like Las Vegas Raiders.
It's like a bad breakup. 16 years, and he just ups and goes. Especially when you come out of retirement and quote unquote you say you come to Dallas to win a Super Bowl, and now he's like, all right, clearly not happening, so I'm out.
I don't understand his move to go to the Raiders now. Like, why?
He wants to see what Vegas is about.
I guess he's a Vegas
guy. He wants that new merchandise.
He's be like,
he want a free stay at the Bellagio. He's gonna watch the draft from his suite.
I imagine Jason Witten showing up to the locker room like, "You guys ready to let the dogs out?"
Don't forget the fanny pack.
Hey guys, you ready to let the dogs out?
What? Do what?
Let the dogs out. You know, like, who let the dogs out? Who brought this guy along?
Not a fanny pack.
What else? Number 4, we have it's been what, 25 years since you guys won?
Oh, that is my go-to for every hater. That is the go-to for every Cowboy hater. It's like, oh, okay, so when's the last time you guys won a Super Bowl? Huh?
My favorite response is, do Super Bowl rings have an expiration date? No.
Exactly. Can we talk about the worst is when I get it from Eagle fans. Oh my God.
It's like they win one Super Bowl and they think they're just invincible.
But it did not stop them from talking smack before they won that Super Bowl either. It was like, oh, so when's the last time you won a Super Bowl? It was like, homie, what's the last time you won a Super Bowl?
Well, now their favorite thing is that we won one recently. When's the last time you won?
Exactly. Yeah, we won one recently. Okay, well, what if I brought that up in freaking 1999? Like, when's the last time you won a Super Bowl? What if I brought it up in 2005? When's the last time you won a Super Bowl? Ours is more recent, even though it was like 10 years ago. Like, I don't understand that. Like, you won one now. What did you do for all these years? What?
It's just my favorite response to the Eagle haters, or talk to me when you get 5. That was on repeat when they won the Super Bowl, and I unfortunately had to go
talk to me when you win 5.
I just held up a 5 the entire day. Don't talk to me.
Not gonna happen. Talk to me when Carson Wentz can make it through a season healthy. Ooh.
That was a sore topic for them. Hey, I mean, that guy's getting paid how much? What? 32 million?
Yeah.
32
Dak
million.
wants more money than him, which is a solid argument. I will give him that. Because he's been healthy. He's been, he's been available. And he's put up compatible numbers. You know?
Yep.
He's been competitive with the amount of work that Wentz has done. I mean, yes, Wentz had that one really good year, and last year, I'll give him this, Wentz did more with less. And that's what separates him right now. You know, when
He also
all
didn't
his
have
wide
anyone to
receivers-
throw to.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he didn't have
We're not going to
anyone
bring
throw
up
to.
Aguilar.
But he did it. But when we were doing that with Dak, he was struggling, man.
Yep.
He wasn't doing so hot.
All right. Well, we've listed 4 top 5 hater lines. We have one more to go.
No, I got one. The 8-8 hate. Every year
8-8 hate.
the season begins. Oh, it's gonna be another 8-8 year for the Cowboys. Another 8-8. And when we had Garrett, it was that Coach Clapp will be on the sideline clapping as the Cowboys go 8-8.
I'm not going to lie. I found that very low-key funny, though.
It was funny.
The best was when he totally
What
acted
sucked
out
was
of
at the end of the
character.
year when we ended up going 8-8. We're like, oh god, this is gonna be bad.
The best was when he acted totally out of character and he threw the flag.
That was one of my favorite Garrett moments. Remember that? You sent me some.
The video? That was great.
What was the song they put on there?
Throw it on
I
the
threw
ground.
it on the ground.
Man, I'm not gonna let you poison me. I threw it on the ground. You must think I'm a joke. I ain't gonna be part of your system. Man, pump that garbage in another man's veins.
He said he's not going to be part of the system.
Oh my god, that was the best.
Great way to exit.
I'm gonna include that clip after this.
Probably the best Garrett moment.
Oh my god, yes. But yeah, man. So I'm excited for the season. It's gonna be good.
Seems very
If we
promising.
have
If. And if Zeke doesn't run off to Cabo again.
But no, he's got no reason to go run off over there now. Like, no, he's got.
He can't right now, but.
Yeah. He can't even go if he wants to right now. But he needs to stay away from Dak's home too. Just stay in your house, Zeke.
They had food platters in the works. I'm like, what are you guys doing?
It looked like it was all delivery too, though, didn't it? It was like all to-go items.
I don't know. It looked like those giant platters that you get from like Costco.
Yeah, it looked like microwave stuff. They just got opened up a freaking lasagna and put in the microwave.
Seems like a Stouffer Sunday, guys.
Woo! Look at this spread! Steak, chicken, fries, and maybe a potentially deadly virus for dessert at the Dallas Cowboys Screw the Quarantine / birthday bash!
Oh my god. Zeke brought his hungry man.
Hungry man. He's eating with 2 spoons.
Oh man, that's funny. All right, well, this was fun. We're gonna come back again next week. If you guys have any topics that you guys want us to talk about, anything you want us to mention, any sponsorships, which are always great and welcomed, email us at thecowboyspodcast@gmail.com. All right, so that's all for us for this week. Catch y'all on the flip side. Go Cowboys.
The Cowboys.
You must think I'm a joke. I ain't gonna be part